Hello friends, it is a database management system NPTEL course and third assignment solution. Coming to the first question, consider the relation owner. A table is given owner with registration ID, name and phone number, and one more table is given vehicle with registration ID, model and price. What will be the relational algebra expression that is equivalent to the following statement is the question. Now understand the statement. List the names of all owners. We wanted only name of all owner. Name is there in the owner table. Who has bought vehicles for rupees 10,000 or more. So price of a vehicle is in this table. Means this query is to be solved based on two tables. So we have to perform a join between these two. And here price is 10,000 or more. This is a condition, means we require to have a condition on this. And in algebra, conditions we write using selection operator, we call sigma. This operator we use, and whatever the condition, that condition you have to write as a subscript, means price greater than 10,000. And what we wanted, name in the output, means column name. So columns can be shown in the output using a pi operator. We call it as a projection operator, and which column you want in the output, that you have to specify as a subscript. And between these two, owner and vehicle, we have to perform a join operation. Join operation is specified using this operator. We call it as a join operator. Okay. Now option A, look, pi name, it is perfectly right, and condition is sigma price greater than or equal to 10,000s. 10,000s or more, so greater than or equals to sigma condition is true, and between them we have a join operator. So option A is perfectly correct, and we'll see why other options are wrong. Here sigma name is used, and sigma is for selection of rows, means selection of rows based on some conditions, and pi is for selection of a columns. Okay, pi is selection of a column, but what we want in the output, column name we wanted, but column name we wanted, we should not use sigma, we should use pi. So option B is wrong. Pi name correct. Owner join, here pi is used for writing a conditions. So conditions we can write using a selection operator. Selection operator is for writing conditions. So option C is wrong. Option D, it is selecting name comma registration ID, but actually question is to list the names of all owners but not the registration IDs. This is incorrect. And here price greater than or equal 10,000s, this condition you have to write using sigma, means incorrect representation. Option D is incorrect. So answer for the question 1 is option A. Question number 2, list the models of all vehicles. List the models of all vehicles registered under the names of John or Peter or Tom. In algebra, the OR operator we can use as a disjunction operator. We call this is a V operator, or we call disjunction operator. So simply we call OR operator. So we have a condition on owner name. So conditions you can write using sigma, as we discussed in the previous question. So what is a condition? Condition on name attribute, that name attribute should be equals to John or Peter, or we can specify using R operator, we call disjunction operator, or Peter or Tom. And what is to be projected, list the models of all vehicles. Column name, model we want in the output, that is specified by using pi. This one we will verify in this. Now look at option A, sigma model is used. For outputting the column we should use pi, not sigma. Option A is incorrect. Option B, pi model correct. Vehicle is joined with owner. What is the condition? Name John, Peter, Tom. It is correct, but between them it is used AND operator, not OR operator, because using AND operator will give no output of the query, because evaluation of a result will be always row by row. It means the student name should never be all John, Peter and Tom. Means either John or Peter or Tom. So that this should not be and, this should be are. So option B is incorrect. Option C, pi model. Vehicle is joined with owner. Condition is sigma, perfectly right. Name is John or operator is used, it is perfectly right. Peter or Tom. So answer for the question is option C. We will see why option D is wrong. Pi model, okay. Vehicle is joined. Name John or Peter or Tom owner. It is looking correct, but this is a condition. Conditions we should write using sigma. That's why option D is wrong. So answer for the question 2 is option C. Question number 3. Consider the following ER diagram. This is newspapers classified into online newspapers and printed newspapers. This is hierarchical relationship. Actually, this is a question based on hierarchical relationship. Now, newspaper classified into online newspapers, printed newspapers. Again, online newspapers classified into paid newspapers, free newspapers. Now, question is which of the following statements is or true? Correct statement. Now, option A given is paid newspapers and free newspapers are disjoint specialization. Here, disjoint specialization says that paid newspaper and free newspapers are completely disjoint. These two are not overlapped. What does it mean is you cannot expect a newspaper which is both paid and free newspaper, right? You cannot expect a newspaper which is both paid and free, because it never be paid and free, both not possible. Then I can call paid newspapers and free newspapers are disjoint specialization. This is correct. Okay, it is correct. Option B given, paid newspapers and free newspapers form overlapping specialization. Here overlapping specifies a paid newspaper is also a free newspaper. Simultaneously, a free newspaper is also a paid newspaper. So practically speaking, if a newspaper is given freely, you cannot take any money for that. If you are selling a newspaper, you cannot give freely. Means don't argue that sir, I will purchase a newspaper and give to some other persons as a freely. That is not a scenario. Okay, so real-time scenario I am explaining, because ER model is to represent the real-time scenarios. So as a practical cases, we can say a paid newspaper can never be distributed freely. If something is distributing freely, we cannot take money for that newspaper. So that paid newspaper and free newspapers are disjoint relationships. So that option A is correct, option B is wrong. Option C, online newspapers and printed newspapers form disjoint specialization. Now here you think about it. A newspaper which is printed also possible to available on online, or a newspaper which is available on online can also be printed. So means these two are an examples of overlapped specialization. We call overlapped specialization. Because it is overlapped specialization, option C is incorrect, option D is correct. So answer for the question number 3 is both option A and option D. Question number 4. Consider the following ER diagram. Person owns device. Now question is which of the following statements is or true? Person is an entity set, device is an entity set, owns is a relationship. And this single line indicates partial participation. This double line indicates total participation. Now we read the options. Every person must own a device. The total participation says mandatory participation. It means every person must own a device. That is perfectly correct. Why? Because person is to owns relationship is total. Total means compulsory relationship. Option B says every device must be owned by a person. Every device must be owned by a person. If it is must, there should be a double line to represent the total participation. Here I am writing single line for partial participation, means an entity set may or may not participate in the relationship. And double line we use for total participation. We use for total participation. Because option B says must be owned. Must indicates total participation, but here is single line. Single line says partial participation. So option B is incorrect. Person is a weak entity. An entity set is represented with a rectangle. If the same rectangle is represented with thick line, or else we call double rectangle. If it is a double rectangle, we call it as weak entity set. We call it as weak entity set. A single rectangle called strong entity set, or simply we can call entity set. Now what is given for person and device? For person and device, it is single rectangle is given. Single rectangle given means it is strong entities, or simply we can say entity, but not weak. Why? Because weak is represented with double rectangle. So option C and option D wrong. So answer for the question is option A. Question number 5. Which of the following ER diagrams is equivalent to the statement? The statement given is a book which is made of multiple pages. Book is made of multiple pages. Can be identified by, underlining this word, by its title and author. So an entity set identified by title and author, it means for that entity book is an entity set, I can say, the title and author are called key attributes, because I used a word called identified. An entity is identified using key attributes. Key attributes are always represented with underlined attributes. That is the first condition. Now look, in option A, in book is an entity set which is underlined attributes title and author. So it is satisfying this statement, identified by title and author. And option B, only author is underlined. So option B wrong. In option C, only title underlined. Option C wrong. In option D, neither title nor author is underlined. So that option D wrong. So what is left is the answer. But more clearly, I will check with that other option also. A book which is made of multiple pages can be identified by its title and author. So means here page is an entity and there are many pages identified by one book, and a book may contains many pages. Right now one book may contain many pages, but many pages can be there in one book. In such cases, this is an arrow is given. Arrow indicates at most one case. Arrow indicates at most one case. Here you look, a book which is made up of multiple pages can be identified by its title and author. Means one book may have multiple pages, but each page belonging to how many books? One book. One page belonging to one book only. Means same page cannot be there in two books, right? That's why one page belonging to one book. So page is uniquely determining the book. So that we have a key constraint. This arrow is called key constraint. That arrow is also called at most one case. At most one says page uniquely determining the book. So answer is option A. Question number 6. Consider the following domain relational calculus. It is given on the relation factory, name, location, product. What is given? It is selecting n. Say in factory n is name, assume L is location, P is a production. What we want in the output? N we want in the output. Means it is selecting name of the factory in the output. What are the remaining attributes? Location and production. There exist. This name, location, products belongs to factory. What is a condition? L is called location of the factory, should be Kolkata. Means it is finding name of the factory in the output whose location, L is a location, whose location in Kolkata, right? So what is an option A? Select name comma location. It is incorrect. Why? Because it is selecting only name. Option B is also incorrect because it is also given name comma location. Option C, select the names of all factories. only names in the output. Located in Kolkata. Perfectly right. And option D, look, select the location and production. But is it selecting location and production? No. Why? Because in DRC query it is clearly given N is in the output. What is N? N is a name of the factory. So D is incorrect. So what is the answer for the question number 6? Option C. Question number 7. Consider the following relation factory. Name, location, production are the attributes. Now question is, select the correct tuple relational calculus expression. We call TRC expression. The form of TRC expression is T such that P of T. TRC expression. T indicates a tuple variable. We call it as a tuple variable which is representing the output of a query. And P of T represents a formula, means which is going to describe the output. Formula which is going to describes the output T. Okay. Now look, option A specifies domain relational calculus because each attribute is represented with some name. Option C is also DRC. But what is my question? TRC, tuple relational calculus. So that option A and option C directly wrong. Now coming to option B. What we want in the output? T. T is a tuple. There exists F belongs to factory. Perfectly right. And what we want in the output? Locations in the output. So F location is assigned to T. What is T? T is an output for my output. And production equal to 20,000. Condition is perfectly right. F production is 20,000. So answer for this question is option B. Now we'll see why option D is wrong. T in the output. But here you see, it is representing factory. Instead of with tuple variables, it is using domain variables. Means individual columns are named with D and S. We call domain variables. But my question is tuple relational calculus. It requires to use tuple variables, not domain variables. That's why option D is incorrect. So answer for the question 7 is option B. Question number 8. Consider the following relation: factory, name, location, production. Select the correct relational algebra expression equivalent to the following statement. Now what is selecting? Select the name and locations. Select name and location. These are the columns. Columns in relational algebra selected using pi. Which columns you wanted? That you have to write as a subscript. Name, comma, location. Of all factories where production is either more than 50,000, or less than 20,000. This is for selection of a tuples. Selection of a tuples, we use sigma operator. This is called selection operator for selecting the rows. The conditions is to be written as a subscript. What is a condition? Production is, the value of production is more than 50,000, means greater than 50k. R less than 20,000. R in algebra we represent with the disjunction, that is R operator. Production less than 20,000. These are the conditions. Now we'll verify each of the options. Option E wrong because sigma is used. It should be pi. Option B, pi name comma location. This is matching. This is matching. And condition is production greater than 50,000. Sorry, it is 5,000. Okay, 5,000. Question given is 5,000. And production less than 20. Okay, it is not 20,000. Okay, 20 in the question. It is from factory. So syntactically it is perfectly right. So answer is option B. I will give you why other options are wrong. It is used sigma, but actually it should be pi for selecting the column. So option C wrong. Pi name location. Okay. Sigma for row selection. Production greater than 5,000 and less than 20,000. Here it is greater than 5,000 and less than 20,000. But what is the question given? Either more than 5,000 or less than 20,000. Here it is used R. R is we represent with disjunction operator, R operator. So here it is used AND operator. That's why it is wrong. So option D is wrong. So answer for the question is option B. Question number 9. The following embedded SQL statement is executed. The following embedded SQL statement is executed. Embedded SQL statements always starts with a keyword exec SQL, means execute SQL, and ends with end exec, means end execution. And this is for declaration, and this is a query. Okay, this is a declaration of a cursor, and this cursor ctemp here holds the output of the query that you mentioned here. What is the output of a query? This ctemp holds name, vendor, and quantity. This is holding in the ctemp. It is from hardware table. Condition is where price greater than colon minimum price. This column minimum price will be called program variable or host language variable. We call variable, means the value for this colon min price supplied from the program. Why? Because it is an embedded SQL. What is an embedded SQL? The SQL state standard defines embedding of SQL in a variety of programming languages such as C, C++, Java. The language to which SQL queries are embedded is referred to as host language. So means SQL queries are embedded into C. I can call C as a host language, or Java is a host language. And the SQL structures permitted in the host language comprises embedded SQL, means these are the SQL structures I can write in the programming language. That's why this is called embedded SQL. Okay. Then is, which of the following statements puts the value of name, vendor, and quantity into the host language variables NVQ. Here observe host language variables always preceded with a colon, means we should use colon N, colon V, colon Q. So it is a syntax in the embedded query language. So that anyhow in all options colons are used. These name, vendor, and quantity is to be fetched from the cursor variable ctemp. That fetching data from the cursor possible by using a keyword called fetch keyword. Okay, fetch is to retrieve data from the cursor. Record by record. One record, then another record. Record by record, I can say. Now look, option A given, execute SQL, fetch name into N. This is incorrect. So means actually the name of each record, means record by record, is stored into the cursor variable ctemp. But fetching name into N is not possible from the cursor. This is incorrect. Here also fetch name, vendor, quantity. This usage is incorrect. Why? Because we have to fetch data only through cursor variable. This is also wrong. Execute SQL, fetch ctemp, means I am fetching data now from ctemp. What is ctemp? Ctemp is a cursor variable, and ctemp contains data of this SQL query. That SQL query data is the rows with columns name, vendor, quantity. Now each time you are fetching ctemp, so it is holding one row. Each time when you fetch, it is holding one row. That row contains column name, vendor, quantity, so that it is to be fetched from ctemp into some host language program variables. Now as I told you, host language program variables are preceded with a colon N, colon V, colon Q, so that name will be copied into N, vendor will be copied into V, value of vendor, and quantity from the table is copied into Q. Now this is a correct statement, and option D is incorrect. Why? Because here what it is given, execute SQL, fetch ctemp, up to this is correct. From is incorrect. Actually once you are fetching, that can be stored into some host language program variable. So this line is incorrect. So answer for the question 9 is option C. Lastly, question number 10. Given two relations R1 and R2, which of the following statements is true? Option A given, R1 union R2 specifies a tuple calculus statement T such that T belongs to R1, R union is called R, T belongs to R2. So it is a valid statement. But what the right hand side of option B specifies? T belongs to R1, belongs to R2. Between them we have an AND operation. In algebra that we represent with intersection. But in the left hand side it is given union, so incorrect. T belongs to R1, T belongs to R2. Between them AND, but here you observe friends, this is does not belongs to. So what does it mean? The tuples belongs to R1 but not R2. But not R2. But not R2 we can specify using minus operator. But what it is given union, it is incorrect. Here T belongs to R1 and S belongs to R2. And it is selecting the combinations of T and S tuples. The combinations of T and S tuples means it is performing Cartesian product of R1 and R2, so that the output of Cartesian product contains the combination of R1 and R2 tuples. So it is representing R1 Cartesian product R2, but in the left hand side it is given union. This is incorrect. So answer for the question number 10 is option A.